No, that was. I guess I'd forgotten that, about that part of the award. I didn't know, so that was a pleasant surprise.
Right.
Well deserved.
What's it? Just I know the Romo news came out that he'll end up being released. Was it kind of when you first got here and you saw him kind of courtside and things of that nature? I mean, what did you first think of that? The Cowboys quarterback was watching SMU games.
Oh, you talking about Tony?
Yeah.
Oh well, first of all, I've been a huge fan of his for years because I've watched him, from afar, even just be an amazing player and do incredible things. I think he's one of the all-time great quarterbacks, honestly. So, when he first started showing up, it was, a little surreal,
What do the other guys think of all the the recognition they've gotten this week on the all-conference team? You've talked about polls being just recognition and nothing more. If you had a similar message, and if they kind of thought of this as the same
Well,
way?
we don't really talk about the individual stuff, so you'd have to ask them on that. I'm proud of any and all awards they get. For me, they're all first team, every one of them. So, that's kind of their own deal. But as much recognition as they can get individually and collectively, I'm all for that.
How do you go about kind of this week in particular, not knowing exactly who you'll play? So do you guys just kind of focus on you, or you kind of prep for both? Or
Yeah, no, not prepping at all. Just trying to be as solid as we can be. It's a good question, like which way do you go on that, and I'm trying to think ahead too. I mean, this week's important, but in some ways not like the next week, and
Right.
so I think we're just right now 100% all about us. And once we find out, I guess when we land tomorrow, basically, then we'll just go over film and walk through and those kind of things.
What time are y'all slated to land tomorrow? Do you know?
6:15,
Maybe
6:30, something like that. We get to the
something like
hotel
that.
around 7.
Yeah.
I think.
You flying into Hartford?
Yes. Yes.
Right.
So you guys played the back-to-back earlier, and you mentioned you want to
Yeah, that was-
get them ready for this.
Kind of, yeah, partially, but no, we did that intentionally just so they could have felt what it's like to play back-to-back nights. You hope, if it all goes well, it's one more than that, but at least they have felt that, so whether they remember it well, I don't know, but they have done it, been tested that way.
How much of a confidence boost is, say, a win in the first game to get momentum at least, or some confidence going into such a weekend?
I
that
think
can be
normally
around?
it's a big deal, but with this group, the confidence has been high for a long, long time. So I don't think that's the issue. I think getting comfortable, it's in a tournament setting. Sometimes I think that's always a big part of it, is who kind of gets into their comfort zone. So hopefully we will on day one.
What do you make of your first year at SMU and the first full season of being a head coach? What's this experience been like for you?
It's been terrific. What makes your experience as a coach, number one, is your players, and our players have been fantastic, not only from their performance but their effort and attitude. And to me, that's number one and number two. And of course, your staff. And our staff has been phenomenal, all across. All that's involved, and then, the other couple parts are your fans, which we sold out every game. You can't ask for anything more than that, and lastly is the support you get from your administration, which has been, couldn't ask for more. So it was a charmed year, I guess I would say.
You guys, you mentioned you played 2 pretty good games last week. How do you go from there, at least just when you want to focus on yourself for this week before you really do it?
Well, we kind of been doing that anyway. We don't overdo the other team anyway. We hope that our principals take care of most things, and what we try to figure out is what's a little bit unique that we don't normally work on. But other than that, we pretty much do that anyway, but maybe a little bit more than we are going into this one, where it's, we don't know who we play, so we just decided to wait till we know.
Right. Throughout the year, last one. Do you think Shemmy's played his way into discussion as being one of the top players in the conference, and if so, why?
Absolutely. I think a lot of our guys deservedly put themselves in that position. But for Shimmy, his all-round play defensively, rebounding, and scoring are pretty hard to argue with. But I could make that case for, a bunch of our guys have been pretty valuable.